major transformational tool in the world today. We have always thought of universal access, equity, equitable development, and many other parameters. If you can see today, right from the ground, the digitization, not only in education, even in the governance, has eased the life of people.
I mentioned lots of parts, and there are more. But how do we put this together holistically, conceptually, to really benefit children and teachers in Jammu and Kashmir? What is our long-term vision? It's essential to have this vision to create more synergy around these initiatives and not see them as initiatives one by one. And I think Jammu and Kashmir has the beginnings, the foundations, and the capacities for digital transformation.
If we go for digitalization of education in the younger generation, from 3 to 18 years of age, we have to, first of all, study fully. In full, we must know. Otherwise, if we adopt anything about which we don't know, even the teachers don't know it, even the system people don't know it, even those who adopt it in the system, they will have problems.
Project funded by UNICEF is a very, very significant project, and its importance cannot be underrated by any possible way. The digital transformation of education is a very important area for India. You know, our country, the gigantic size that India has, in terms of the population and the educatable population, is more than perhaps the entire European countries together, or all the African continent together. We have been developing at a very fast pace, and at this point of time, we are targeting a 5 trillion economy by 2025, another 3 years, and a 10 trillion economy by 2030.
We look at digital technology, we understand that it has an exponential potential, and it will become exponential whether we do it or someone else will do it. Now this is the result of this. How much data is generated every minute? So Domo is a company which calculates this every year, and if you can look at it, 240,000 posts in a minute on Facebook, 65,000 photographs uploaded on Instagram in 1 minute last year, 5.7 million searches are done on Google in 1 minute, and the list goes on and on. And who is generating this data? We are generating this data. Our children, for whom we are today here in the education, for having an education for them, they are generating this data.
So now let's start by knowing what's coding. Coding is the set of instructions given to a computer to perform a proper function. Coding is also the language of the computer through which we can communicate with computers. Coding is fun. Once we start learning coding, then there is no going back, because it's interesting, because it's like a puzzle. And puzzle has so many blocks which we connect.
This workshop being organized by UNICEF for every child in collaboration with so many other groups has been a tremendous effort for all of us.
Today we have our biggest struggle. Whether I can adopt the internet or not, my classroom will move forward. My students will have access to a lecture from Harvard Business School, free of cost, almost. We have free internet connection in the campus. And now my library is sitting at Kashif, who is the professor at Harvard. So I have to improve my quality of classroom, because today or tomorrow, out of 150 students I teach, at least 10 of them will know that I am below the mark. That's the threat to my job today. With all kinds of facilities which are available, And this is the paradox of internet. We are talking about digital divide, and we have been talking about, last month we were in Bali, G20, on the side of G20 we were talking about this, that COVID has proved that within the country we have a bigger digital divide. When we run our online classroom, we have to bring back, within the COVID time, we have to bring back 50 of our students back to the campus with a lot of risk. At that time, movements were restricted, because those students of our MBA classroom were from villages of Indian, various parts of India, that they could not access our teaching module. It is not that they are not connected. They are connected, but their connectivity and speed was not enough to follow a balance sheet of a company on the screen, or a heavily simulated operation research game on the screen. It needs a particular bandwidth. So there are double digital divide we are facing now. That not only that we bring people into the digital map, but we give them enough bandwidth to access the kind of materials we produce.
In one way we were getting degrees and all other things, but in practical work we were not up to the mark. That was not up to the mark. Right now we have to train the students so that they will take part in different types of, so far as the challenges of life are concerned. And this is very important. If we, at this time we will not make our students so very informative, so technocrats, then when.
Take this as a learning exercise where I'm going to talk now the flip side, like I mentioned earlier, the flip side, the darker side of internet, the kind of challenges, issues that we see with everyone, not just with children, women, or vulnerable population. It's basically with netizens of all age groups, all income groups and all geography. So I'll be sharing some of these case studies with you, some of the challenges that we see, especially talking about the online child sexual abuse and exploitation. Cyberpeace has done some of the research reports. We have studied certain platforms, and what we found out were a lot of issues on the platform where children are being abused at different levels, plus also leading to trafficking in certain cases. So if you see there are technology-related threats like whatever, financial fraud, malicious code, denial of service attack, if you talk about cyber harassment, hacking threat, all of that are termed within technology-related threats.
Digital, everything is digital. But what is digital? Are we taking digital as an automation system, or as a medium, or as an infrastructure, or as a content itself? Is this medium a message, or is this, and the message is only going to be on this digital infrastructure? That is another very, very important thing. And if the internet is available at the district level, there is no reason why you should not have internet in the school. So, is the school planning the internet, or the Department of Telecom planning the internet for you? So, you must plan internet for yourself. Don't allow DOT to plan internet for you. So that you can figure out कि मुझे 28,000 nodes चाहिए 100 Mbps या 200 Mbps का, ताकि मैं वो अनलिमिटेड यूज कर सकूं. जैसे स्कूल इज एन अनलिमिटेड प्लेस. व्हाई डू वी गो टू स्कूल? एक्चुअली वी गो टू स्कूल फॉर कम्युनिटी लर्निंग, not for physics and chemistry learning. Meaningful connectivity is very important. You cannot have 2G because you cannot do transactions. So this connectivity is nothing for you. You cannot have a offering connectivity which doesn't translate into something. You cannot have a road on which you cannot drive a car. So please be mindful that India is actually more than 75% unconnected meaningfully.
A lot of you may be aware of some of these initiatives, but I would still like to take you through अभी तक के क्या क्या initiatives हुए हैं, what have our learnings been, and some of really interesting proof points that we have generated. Of course, this was done all in collaboration with UNICEF, so a lot of inputs have also come from there.
पेड़ लगाना या नेट जीरो के लिए कोडिंग करना, प्रत्यय को एक साथ जोड़ते हैं। कंप्यूटर साइंस कौन सीख सकता है और आसपास की टेक्नोलॉजी की ब्यूटी को सराहेंगे। आइए हमारे साथ लेट्स कोड में शामिल हो जाएंगे।
So far as the planning is concerned, if we correctly analyze the data, believe me, half work is done. But unfortunately, you all know, despite being information available on every aspect of school education, in terms of universal access, universal quality of education, universal retention, and universal enrollment or participation, despite that, the information is not optimally utilized. If the information is correctly utilized, problems are identified, focus groups are identified, definitely the half of the work is done. 6 साल का बच्चा जब पहली क्लास में एंटर करना शुरू करेगा, तब आपका ग्रॉस एनरोलमेंट रेशियो, नेट एनरोलमेंट रेशियो और एडजस्टेड एनरोलमेंट रेशियो सारे एक हो जाएंगे। कोई ओवर एज अंडर एज नहीं बचेगा। लेकिन ये 100% नेट एडजस्टेड नेट एनरोलमेंट रेशियो बताता है कि बहुत सारे बच्चे जम्मू और कश्मीर में करीबन 14% बच्चे हैं, वो ऊपर की क्लास के अंदर पढ़ रहे हैं।
So, in a nutshell, what I want to tell you is the career guidance counseling and the consultation idea which I am working on. This is the inspiration. And in addition to that, the career, now there was one more problem for me that I literally can talk to 10 people, 100 people or 1,000 people. And for example, in a year I can end up talking to 20,000 people. But I'm really concerned about each and every student of my UT, even for that matter the whole planet. But not to exaggerate, but so far as my UT is concerned, we have lakhs of students. So my idea was how I can reach to all. That was the biggest depression with me. My mentor is here, Professor Sarparvi is the mentor of my startup. He can tell you how much he struggled, like, kaise kare. Then we got the idea of indexing. So we have the Nifty 50 stock exchange in which you see live share count, kitna price ho gaya. Then I thought that can we make a tool which can give me the index कि MBBS कितने बनने चाहते हैं, कितने लोग IAS करना चाहते हैं, कितने लोग आर्मी में जाना चाहते हैं, so that I will catch them young.
What we are trying to educate, that is there a monitoring mechanism which can help us take better decisions, which can help 3 people, our students who can learn better, our teachers who can teach better, and our administrator who can take effective decisions. And I was telling that we have this school grading mechanism which is called this Gujarat School Quality Accreditation system, wherein we have these 5-6 parameters on which we evaluate the schools. And again, this is also a topic in itself, but we give them scores and tell that what are the areas of improvement, and there is a district level ranking that we publish every now and then.
Last year there was a report that 70% of children do not have access to gadgets for online education. So we also have to keep in mind when we talk of so that infrastructure, creating infrastructure for that or creating those possibilities for children who do not have access. Secondly, this digitization is also creating a digital divide, knowledge divide, because there are children who are enrolled in private schools whose parents can afford gadgets and whose parents can afford, they do buy from Byju's and everything, they will have access to knowledge or online modes of knowledge. But there are also children who are enrolled whose parents still have button phones. Yeah. So in that case, how do we look at that digitization of education? So there are a lot of challenges in that.
The empathy of this place, GNK, would not be the same as the empathy of some other place. So the first step which our teachers have to do, they have to be in the shoes of the users. And who are the users? Children, the child. They are the users. So what do they want? how do we empathize? बच्चे की तरह सोचना. We don't have to, as a technocrat, I can give many solutions. Technology is available, all of us know about it. But the implementation of the technology, the dissemination of the technology, and the proper utilization and usage of the technology, that becomes very, very important. So, I cannot answer this question of yours कि जी हम extended reality or virtual reality implement करेंगे किसी गांव में. No. So, we have to, number one, look at the empathy, which will give us a roadmap. And number two, we have to define the problem.
In the field of innovations, we have supported around 30 innovations. Yesterday we had the screening committee of those innovative ideas from across the UT of JNK, and Mr. Inayat was a cooperative member for that. And I would like to inform that JNK State Science Technology Innovation Council is supporting around 30 innovations by providing the seed money to the innovators, which amounts to rupees around 30 lakhs. So for the next year, we hope that we would go up to around 1 crore rupees for promotion of the innovations in the state.
From the school education department, it's again going to be a big boost for the students of the Jammu and Kashmir of school education department. So I once again thanks the organizer of these programs for organizing this program and making aware our teachers of the latest development happening in the digital transformation in the country and across the globe. I will look forward for organizing more such programs in the coming time so that we are able to spread the mission of the digital transformation of the education sector in the J&K.
What we want to achieve from this two-day workshop is not just to sit here and debate about what has happened or what has not happened, what could have happened. Rather, it's more kind of a reflection on it in a very systematic manner, and I think that's what we're trying to achieve here.